All right. Hello, everyone. I think I am live. How is everyone doing? It's so good to be here with you all. All right. Everybody hanging in there? I don't know about you all, but like the last week and a half, I've just been super drained and exhausted. I feel okay, like physically. It's just like mentally. I think probably all the energy that we're getting in and all the election energy coming in. Maybe I'm empathically picking up on all of Donald Trump's exhaustion, but um, yeah, been a bit of a challenge just grounding the energy. How's everybody doing? Everyone doing good? Thank you all so much for being here and watching. I really appreciate it. So, I'm going to be reading on political and current event questions today. Just a couple housekeeping before we get started into that. For my members, we will be doing our members live this coming Monday, October 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing a Reiki and prayer circle. Um, it was supposed to be this last Monday, but I ended up going to the Harris rally, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But so we postponed it till this coming Monday, so the 21st. Anybody's interested in that, um, the link is in the description box on becoming a member, and I also have it on my YouTube channel and on the main page. So you can check that out. We'd love to have you if you'd like to join us. Um, so I have that going on next Monday. I have an idea for my Tuesday show. Let's focus it on the political races. So if you want to look at House, Senate, presidential races, go through all of them and do pendulum readings, see where the energy sits at for those races. And then since I do my Tuesday show, November 5th, we'll do another check-in just to see what the energy feels like then. So we'll focus in on election races this coming Tuesday. Next Wednesday, I'm really excited. I should be on Susan Lynn's channel. I haven't talked to her in a little bit because she's had her event in Colorado, but that is the plan for right now. I think 7 p.m. Eastern on October 23rd. And Mel's in Europe, so I won't be on. Well, I wasn't on with him this week, and I won't be on with him next week. But then the following week, we should resume. So just some shows coming up, so you're all aware of. Um, I do have a few openings for Reiki sessions, or I do have a reading and Reiki combination, 30-minute reading followed by a Reiki session. I do have some availability, I think, next week and the following week. If anybody's interested in that, you can book online on my website, www.kevinslovingvibrations.com. That is in the description box. And then I was thinking about possibly doing another Reiki class, Holy Fire Reiki level 1 and 2 this year. Um, and I can talk a little bit about that. Um, it's a 8-hour class, 2-day class through Zoom. So it's interactive. You can ask me all of your questions with Reiki. Reiki level 1 will be covering self Reiki, tips for help self healing, and then level 2 you learn some of the Reiki symbols, and we focus a little bit more on treating others. Um, and it's with this really high vibrational holy fire energy. So if you've already taken a Sui Reiki, it's very similar foundation. Um, the attunements are a little bit different, and then the energy is kind of supercharged with this holy fire energy. So if you're already familiar with Reiki and want to become attuned with holy fire Reiki, or if you're just a beginner, anybody can learn Reiki. So it's a wonderful beginning class as well. Um, the price for the class is $475. Like I said, it is a a 2-day class, pretty much all day. Um, But if anybody's interested in that, send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com, or you can contact me on my website. If we have a lot of people interested, I'll do another class before the end of this year. If not, I'll probably do one beginning of next year. So, and you can go into my website. I have all the class information put in the class section. So, anybody's interested in that, please let me know. Like I said, if we have interest, we'll do another class before the end of the year. I think besides that, that's about all that I wanted to go over. Please make sure to hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps the channel, and we appreciate it when you do that. So I'll talk a little bit about the Harris rally. I went on Monday, and I early voted in Ohio on Monday as well before we went. What an exciting experience! I've never been to a political rally before. Seeing our next president of the United States live speaking, um, she's such a powerful, strong energy force on stage. I had always kind of when I had seen her on TV, she holds herself up so tall and so strong. And so I thought she was a lot taller than what she was, but I guess she's only like 5'4", so that was a little surprising. But just all of the enthusiasm from her, from everybody that attended. Um, the event space, I think, held up a little over 9,000 people, and there was a couple empty seats, but besides that, the whole sections were completely filled. Me and my husband had gotten there. I think doors opened at 3. We got there like 4:15, 4:20, sometime around then. So there was a massive line to get in. We actually just made it in before they closed the doors, and we got really good seats facing her, um, as you saw probably from the video that I posted. But it was just an amazing experience. There was all of the rally goers. It was so diverse. There was so much energy and enthusiasm. We were all kind of chanting and "We're not going back" and Kamala. And there were a couple, probably like a handful of MAGA protesters outside of it, but um, it, there really wasn't a whole lot of, you know, back and forth between that. It was pretty civil. Um, but it was very diverse. There was a lot of older men and women, a lot of young women, women of color. It was just quite a few of them, honestly. If I was going to stereotype somebody as a Trump voter, they may have got that stereotype. So I think even quite a bit of Republicans were there supporting Kamala, which is really exciting. And I kind of feel like, kind of going into the election, I know a lot of people are worried about the polls being close. Um, I had somebody comment and saying, your channel's for entertainment purposes only. They're tied in the polls. How do we trust what you're picking up? If I felt Trump was going to win, I would let you know. I did say before Biden dropped out, I felt he was going to drop out. So um, if I did feel that Trump was going to win, I would tell you. I don't feel that at all. I feel like so many people are being um, underestimated in the polls. The polling does a lot of likely voters. I think women are really upset, even Republican women, that since Roe v. Wade came in, they abolished Roe v. Wade. They want to fight for their own health care. Um, so a lot of women are going to vote. And I think a sizable chunk of Republicans, maybe they don't all vote for Kamala, but I do feel like a good chunk of them voting for her. Um, and people are just excited. We're all tired of Trump and we have like the Trump fatigue, all the hate and divisiveness. We're ready to move on and move forward, and all the love and joy that Kamala is bringing in. So I don't feel. I feel she's going to overperform what the polls are doing. So just putting that out there as well. All right, a lot of people voting already. Yep. And I'll say even too, just driving around my neighborhood, I'm in Ohio, and I'm in a pretty red area. And sure, you have a lot of Trump signs, but there's a lot of Harris signs too. Um, like I said, people are just tired of Trump. They don't want to go back to when Trump was in office, and we were all terrified of what he was going to do. So, yeah, Trump has lost his mind. Absolutely, Earth Mama. So if you all want, go ahead and submit your political and current event questions in the chat, all caps if you can, and I'll get to as many as possible. So, and yet, and the poll said that Republicans were going to win this giant red wave in 2022, and I told you that Democrats were going to do better than outperform what the polling was, and I feel the same way in this election. So, if you want to believe me, believe me. If you want to be scared and say that the polls are close and, complain, then you can do that too. But, the guides have been pretty right on with a lot of the stuff we've looked over. So, all right. Oh, thank you, Patty. So I did have a couple questions. Start. Let's take a look at Trump. He's canceling interviews. He's not doing as many public events. I've been saying, and other psychics have been saying that there was going to be some health issues, and I felt even dementia issues even when he was president. So let's take a look at Trump and see how he's doing. All right, we got almost 2 weeks left. Oh, thank you all so much. You're all sweet. I appreciate all the love and support. I will say too, a lot of it, there's a lot of Russian bots and trolls out there lately too. I don't normally get too many comments, but with the election coming up, and especially on those rally videos that I posted, they were starting to come out in full force. No, I don't feel Trump is pretending to be ill. I've been feeling illness around him for a while, though. Kamala did great on her Fox News interview, and Trump was pissed off because she got I think like the most views on an interview in like the last few years, even more than when he's on there. Never seen anybody dance by just moving their arms. Yeah, it's bizarre. All right, let's check in with Trump's health. I do feel he's exhausted, but there's something underlying there as well. All right, Donald Trump. I've often told you I wouldn't be surprised if he has a major medical episode before the election. I know we're 2 weeks away, a little over 2 weeks away. If it doesn't happen before the election, I guarantee you it happens right after. With a heart. I've shared my vision of him clenching his heart and collapsing. Heart chakra is the first one that comes out. There's definitely there's something with the health for sure. I've often said I don't feel a very long life for Trump, and he does have the death card over him. Now, typically the death card doesn't represent physical death, but it can. Um, Ace of Wands, so that's all of that anger that's inside of him just bubbling up, getting to a boiling point. And you can see in this deck, it's kind of the flame is right over her heart. So I feel like there's some heart issues. Definitely, he's not in his right mind. The third eye chakra is coming in, and he's got 5 of Wands. So this is all that confrontation. It can be roadblocks, obstacles, healing coming in with the Temperance Angel. He's really out of balance, and the sacral chakra. And to me, it feels like well, we all know that he supposedly wears a diaper, so this could be it, the intestines, gut, but it's also, I think, just the physical fatigue. He can't handle all the stress and campaigning and all the legal issues. So a lot of that stuff's going out there a little bit, so maybe it doesn't happen before the election, but he's definitely got some major health stuff going on for sure. The guides have been saying it for a while. If you've been following me, you know. Somebody says what cabinet members Kamala would put in her Republicans Kamala would put in her cabinet. I'm not really feeling Liz Cheney being in her cabinet. She may offer her something, but I I often feel Liz Cheney will be part of rebuilding the Republican Party after it crashes and burns when Donald Trump goes down. I could see her maybe offering something to Adam Kinzinger or maybe even like some of the military advisors that Trump had in his cabinet, offering them key positions. I don't see her cabinet being filled with Republicans, but there may be a couple. I've been trying to keep up with the chat, so I'm not starring as many questions. So if you have questions, please just keep sending them in. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Arizona race. I feel very good for Democrats in Arizona. Let me use this deck. 538 reported. Well, Nate Silver, he's been very wrong with a lot of his predictions, so I don't even follow 538. But yes, a lot of the polling is Republicans manipulating it, and then they'll have a talking point after the election to say that the election was rigged again, and there was cheating. The polling was so close. Trump was leading, or it was tied. Most of the polls coming out are funded and ran by Republicans for that reason. I mean, look at all the early voting turnout, you guys. Georgia breaking record numbers. I think North Carolina did too. When I went to early vote, it was the longest line that I waited. Now I got right in, but I never had to wait in a line before to early vote. So even here in Ohio, the turnout might not be like it is in some of the battleground states, but people are just ready to move on, I'm telling you. Oh, Emma says Nate Silver is paid by Trump operatives. That would not surprise me. All right, how is Kamala doing in the state of Arizona for her presidential run? Is Kamala Harris going to win Arizona? I get yes, women making the difference. It's still going to be a close race. I think that was Biden's slimmest margin in 2020, if I remember correctly. There's definitely some obstacles there. There's a lot on the line, but there's movement forward. A lot of heavy turnout. Kamala's doing the hard work. And then the Empress, the women coming out and making the difference. And I feel like that's going to be in a lot of these battleground states. Like I told you last week too, maybe I feel like Kamala could even win in Texas. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's such a close margin that Republicans don't give her the electors of the state, but that's a good chance for Cruz to get out of there. So, and I do feel Ruben Gallego, I do see him winning the Senate race in Arizona. I don't see Kari Lake winning at all. All right. I don't know about Florida. Florida, I'm not feeling quite as strongly. But the cards in my feeling about Texas were pretty good. So. Well, thank you, Portia. Portia says, Kevin, I heard on a podcast from somebody who studies polls as a profession, and he said the polls are being purposely manipulated. Can't trust them. I agree 100% with that. That's my feeling on it too. And the polling represents likely voters. So if people have voted in the last few elections, um, we know that uh, voter registration has been way up. Um, and like I said, I feel like even some Republican women, white women that are usually vote Republican, supporting Kamala. Women will make the difference in this election, I'm telling you. All right. Somebody had a good question. Let me find it here. Um, for the Republicans who vote for Kamala, do they feel they will vote blue down ballot? I don't know. I don't think all of them will, but I think a good chunk will vote blue down ballot because they're just ready to move on from the MAGAs and the crazies. They're putting country over party. So I do feel like a lot of them voting blue down ticket. Absolutely. I am. Elise Stefanik's lose her seat. I don't think so, but we'll ask the pendulum. Like I said, we'll focus more on the election races on Tuesday, guys. All right. Is Elise Stefanik's going to lose her district in the 2024 election? It might be closer than what it normally is. It's kind of going now. I think it will be closer than it normally is, but now I think she'll still get in. I think she's in a pretty safe red district. I don't think it's the most competitive. I could be wrong, but I've been saying for a while, there will definitely be court cases and challenges to the election, Jersey Shore. But I almost feel like Kamala wins by such a large margin that they're not going to be able to manipulate it. I think she's going to win even larger margins than Biden did in 2020. I think Biden won the popular vote by like 7 million. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala wins it by over 10. So they'll try. I do feel a lot of chaos after the election, but I see Kamala being sworn in January of next year. Yeah, big margins. The thing is her margins will be bigger, but you still have those competitive races, where it's going to be closer to the battleground races. But like I said, I think she'll win by even larger margins than Biden. And I feel like we're going to get a good surprise, like I said, maybe Texas turning blue. Um, Definitely in the Senate races, I feel like there's going to be surprises there for Democrats in a good way. Will Fox have Kamala on for an interview again? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It was a total setup, and she did not take their bait. She gave it to them hard and called them out and kept turning it back to Donald Trump. I thought Kamala did an amazing job on Fox. And I think even the guy who interviewed her, I don't watch Fox, so I don't remember what his name is, but I did see that he had issued an apology because he pulled it to a video and it wasn't even anything that they were talking about. When Kamala was saying that Trump keeps calling the American people the enemy within and his threat. Of course, Fox News wasn't going to air that. So no, I think she got them. I don't see them excited to have her back on. Why would Kamala ever go back on Fox? Right. Will Trump release any medical records or documentation? I feel like his dementia is on full display these days. Absolutely, it is. No, I don't see him releasing any medical records. And I love that Kamala just got a medical evaluation and got all of that out to the public. So now she has that to talk on him too. Obviously he's hiding things in with his health is deteriorating. Where's your medical reports? I feel like it's just going to get worse and worse. I'm not going to lie. It's like the pressure of the campaign and everything. Um, I know it's been pretty unhinged, and he's been kind of just out there with his dance parties. But I feel like between now and the elections, it's just going to get worse. Oh, absolutely, Liz. He knew what he was doing. Fox did do it on purpose. They were getting a lot of backlash over that. Yeah, I do feel like some red states will try to refuse to certify the votes. Like I said, I feel like even like Georgia, Florida, Texas, there's something fishy going on in those states. Those are the ones that I'm feeling most strongly with. Um, but like I said, Kamala's going to win, so it's not going to really matter. But yeah, we will be checking in on that because I do feel it's going to be worse than 2020. I don't know why they're not talking more about Vance, but if you followed me for a while, I felt like Vance was chosen for Trump, and I almost feel like there is some kind of backdoor deal that if Trump were to win the election, he would either step down or they would use the 25th Amendment on him. Vance would pardon him of his federal crimes, and they would have the guy that they want in there. It's possible that they do start talking about the possibility of President Vance, but I don't know why they haven't started talking about that. Yeah, well, I'll need Reiki sessions to stay calm and centered with the election, and yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a madhouse for a while. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, Trump was pissed about Kamala's record-breaking viewership. That's for sure. And I loved how Kamala had some hecklers in her rally. I think they were pro-abortion people. At a rally, and she made a joke and said, "I think you guys hit the wrong rally. You need to go down the street to the smaller rally." I thought that was hilarious. She's really funny, but she's smart as a whip. I tell you, she's gonna be a great president. Yeah, yoga's good as well, June. Absolutely. All right. I think this is a good question to look at. Do you see Trump being sentenced in November by Judge Marchand? Now, I've never felt jail for Trump. He might be locked up in a padded cell sometime, but I've never felt jail. I'm sorry, you guys. I almost feel like there's going to be another delay with the sentencing in New York. I'm sorry to say. I don't think it's going to happen in November. If the election's kind of up in the air still, and you know things are being challenged in the courts, they might wait until the beginning of the year. I'll throw some cards on it, but that's my intuitive hit. I feel like it might be delayed. All right, is Judge Marchand going to sentence Trump in November? No, I don't think Marchand's been compromised, John. It could even be maybe health-related stuff. Donald Trump croaks and so they end up delaying it. Yeah, it could be health-related. That actually is really resonating with me, so yeah, there's something that brings an indecision, something bringing up review. I do see him being sentenced, so it will happen, but I do feel like there might be a delay. Yeah, final outcome is the Three of Wands, which is kind of watching and waiting. It's a bit of a tug of war back and forth. I do have the Death card here too. It's like there's an announcement, the loss, but there's something that's holding it up. So I do feel like there's a short delay. I don't think the election denialism is here to stay, but we will definitely see it in this election. I tell you, when Donald Trump loses, he's going to drag the whole Republican Party down with him. I actually see half the Republicans are tired and they want to move on from Trump, kind of get back to some order of decorum. And then you'll have the hardcore MAGA um, teabag part of the Republican Party, and they're going to fight. I see it kind of fracturing it, and Donald Trump takes the whole party down with them. And it will take a while for the Republican parties to rebuild. You'll have part of the Republican Party that may still be in the election denialism, but I think by the next presidential election in 2028, I see it being a new party. Oh, thank you. I thought Finn was down here. Somebody said your dog's beautiful. I think he went upstairs, but he was down here a little bit ago. I don't see with Ted Cruz in the January 6th, I see him being investigated, but I do feel like, Cruz is a snake. He knows how to kind of not have a paper trail with him. So I don't feel he may be indicted, but I don't see charges against Cruz. Also, if Cruz did know that they had something on him, he would make a deal and give up everything he knows. That's what I'm saying. The Republican Party's chaos into next year. You're going to see all of them turning on each other. Because we're really going to start to see a lot of the indictments come after the election early next year. Court cases, middle of the year. Is Nebraska going to turn blue? I know that they have one district. I do see that district being blue, but I think in whole, no, I don't see Nebraska turning blue this time. Oh, yes, and I saw that Jimmy Carter, he made it to his birthday, like I said I thought he would, and I said I thought he was gonna vote in the election. He was really hanging on to vote, and I did see that Jimmy Carter just voted, so that's wonderful news. And he's been hanging in there for a while. I do feel like a big part of him is ready to, um, be back with Rosalind, but he's been fighting it for sure. I'm not feeling digital currency in the next few years. It might be more like 5 years out, but I do see eventually we'll kind of switch over to more of a digital currency. Not right away. We got a couple years still. Yeah, I got good feelings on the Senate candidate, the independent. I felt like he could very well win that Senate race. I think what my feeling was with him, and I don't remember his name, Osborne, I think is what it is. I do feel like he would vote a lot with Democrats. I feel like more socially he's pulled to that part of the more the left, but he may be a little bit center to the right for, financial um, issues. But I like his energy. I don't see him voting with the Democrats 100% of the time, but a good amount of the time I do. And he feels like he doesn't want to be put into, um, I feel like he wants to stay that independent label, um, kind of work across both aisles. Yeah, Donald Trump will be ousted as a traitor. He's going to have so many court cases, and there's going to be so much that's revealed to the public in the next few years, Leslie. I don't even think Donald Trump will be alive when but he will be remembered in history as a traitor to our country. And I do feel the Russia um, investigation coming back out. It will be a couple years, but absolutely. Will Kristi Noem go away? I see. I think this is her last term as governor. If I remember correctly. I see her trying to stay into politics, but I do feel like with everything that happens with the collapse of MAGA and the Republican Party, I feel like she's going to be out. And I do feel a big scandal coming out with her too. Um, and it feels more so like relationship scandals or sex scandals. So, all right, let's ask the pendulum on. I feel good about All Red. I'm telling you, I've been feeling for a while Ted Cruz leaving. If Ted Cruz were to get back in, I think with the January 6th stuff, he'll be ousted. But um, I think Colin Allred's going to win. And Colin Allred, from clips that I saw from the debate, he did really good debating Cruz. He's not very well liked in the state. Is Colin Allred going to be the next senator from Texas? Yes. Yes, I think Colin Allred's going to win. It started off as a maybe, so I do think it will be very close. But where the energy sits now, I do see Colin Allred win. We already went over Trump's health. It's not good, obviously, Scorpio lady. But if you want, you can catch the replay. Oh, awesome. Yes. Even though I feel good about the election for Democrats and for Kamala, we have to make sure that we go out and vote. Let's make sure our friends and our family go out to vote. If you're able to, be a poll worker or, do any work for Democrats, we're going to need all hands on deck. But and the races are getting close. But if you're able to donate, I know a lot of you do already. But make sure we keep this momentum going. I don't think Clinton will be in Kamala's cabinet. I think she's kind of done with politics. I do see her daughter doing politics here soon. I don't know why I just went blank on um, her daughter's name, but I do see her daughter getting into politics in New York. Um, is Hillary Clinton going to be in Kamala's cabinet? Thank you, Chelsea. Is Hillary Clinton going to be in Kamala Harris's administration? No, I'm getting a no. No. Yeah, Chelsea Clinton. She'll be, maybe not quite yet, but I think in the next couple of years, don't be surprised if you see her make a run for office. All right, you guys. I saw a clip of this earlier today on MSNBC, but Trini wants to know about the Arab community in Michigan. They said they're going to vote for Jill Stein so that Harris will not win. Will they be successful? A vote for Jill is a vote for Trump. And I do feel like, um, I think especially publicly, they want to keep the pressure up. I do see some of them voting for Harris, but a lot of them are upset. Like I said, though, a good chunk of Republicans are going to turn out for Harris. I wouldn't be surprised if 10% of the Republican Party turns out and votes for Harris or doesn't vote at all. I see Michigan staying blue, but we can throw some cards on it. Oh, Earth Mama says documents released today over 1,000 pages. Chuck can release those, Earth Mama. I told you I felt more January 6th documents being released. Yeah, I agree with Leslie. It's not a big enough demographic to affect the outcome in the state. Oh, I love it, you guys. Hopefully we actually hear the news cover it. All right. I don't know why they would vote. I understand their anger with what's going on. I think we're all kind of outraged with all the destruction going on in Gaza, now Lebanon. I get that. But so what, you're going to vote for Trump, who's in Netanyahu's pocket? You know, getting Trump elected is just going to make the situation worse. I mean, I get it. I understand why they're upset, but yeah. I still see Kamala winning. Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's all the anger, there's all of the grief of what's going on over there, and it's their way to kind of stand up for their community. You have Five of Cups, so there's all the loss and the heartbreak over it. But like I'm telling you, women are going to make the difference in this election, and the youth. I think it's going to be okay. Oh, that's awesome, Pat. Pat waited an hour and a half in line to early vote blue this morning in Louisiana. I love it. Mary Patola in Alaska. I think she's going to win her race, Andrea. I think Alaska does ranked choice voting too, which will help her. Is Mary Patola going to be reelected in the Alaska race? I'm getting a yes. I think it'll be close, but yes. All right. And we will definitely, on Tuesday's show, we're going to be focusing on the races. So if you guys want, we'll take a look at all the House races, state races, all of that. Get it all documented. We'll do a check-in on election day, and we'll see where we were right and where we were wrong. I didn't do, I think it's easier just to do a live show for the races. I did write up for the 2022 election my predictions, and they were pretty accurate. I think I was like 90% accurate on the Senate races and like 85% accurate on the governor's races. So yeah, we did pretty good in 2022. But we'll do that on Tuesday. All right, you guys. Do a couple more questions before we wrap up. Will the death of the Hamas leader lead to the end of the war, or will Bibi keep on fighting? I've told you I feel things getting worse in the Middle East before they get better. I feel like he still wants to keep fighting. I actually do feel that Biden and Harris are really going to take a stand against Netanyahu. There may be a pause on assistance. I see the U.S. and the Middle East trying to calm the situation down and being successful with it, but Netanyahu is definitely, I think, I still get fighting energy from him. Yeah, I don't see Netanyahu in power for much longer, you guys. And I do see Netanyahu, I do feel like I do feel retaliation against Iran for all the missiles that they sent too. So I don't feel like it's over yet. Yeah, there's action still being taken. You have Biden coming, crossing it, Kamala above. There is some kind of celebration here. Yeah, there's still some more stuff. I do think that Harris and Biden have talked to Netanyahu and gave him a what for, told him that he needs to temper down the situation. And they may be successful for a while, but I do feel I have the Eight of Wands, which to me looks like projectiles. There, and then it goes to fighting. You know, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a fight there still. Sorry to say. I don't know if Israel's able to call in an early election or what happens. I do feel with the international courts coming in and having trials with Netanyahu, but I feel like he's going to be forced out. I've been saying that for a little while. I read on this last week, Colleen. I don't feel that I see Donald Trump having to pay that fraud money. I don't see it being overturned. Oh, is Nikki Haley going to jump in last minute to try to help Trump? I feel like she might. You know, the thing is that the MAGAs hate Nikki Haley, and all the Nikki Haley supporters think she's a sellout for endorsing Trump. I'm telling you, those Nikki Haley voters will either not vote, or I see a lot of them voting for Kamala Harris and voting blue down ticket. So she's not going to be helpful at all. She pretty much killed any political career for her in the future with her Trump endorsement. Because Nikki Haley, yeah, she blew her chances for 2028 for sure. I think she already did. Is Nikki Haley going to campaign with Trump? I'm hearing yes. Yeah, she joins the battle. Tug of war. She is a little bit anxious about it, so I don't think she's fully decided just yet. But she wants to come in and support the party. Yeah, I do see her. Maybe it's not quite with Trump, although I feel like it is, but she'll come in to help Republicans. Yeah, she's defeated. Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords. Yeah, she's done. I feel like Youngkin may. I've often felt like he may get the nominee in 2028. We'll see. I think the MAGAs like him. A new FBI director. I do see a new FBI director when Kamala takes over. It might not be right away. It might be about halfway through her first term. I'm feeling the number two. So Christopher Wray may be replaced in a couple years. But I do feel a new FBI director. Yes. John Ossoff isn't up for re-election in Georgia this time. When Ossoff got in there, when in their runoff, um, and I'm not sure when he's up for re-election, but maybe it's 2026. I felt like Warnock was going to have a legacy in the Senate, but I did feel like John Ossoff may only do one term. Does anybody know when Ossoff is up for re-election? If it's 2026, it might not be a win for him. Is John Ossoff going to win his re-election in Georgia? Maybe. No. No, I don't think so. It may be close. Yeah, I know the terms are 6 years, but when did he get in? 2022? So it'd be 2028. Yeah. I don't see MTG as a senator of Georgia, Winnie Boo. Like I said, Warnock, I feel is going to be in the Senate in Georgia for a while, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't get the same feeling with Ossoff. I hope I'm wrong with that. All right, you guys, we'll do one or two more questions. Ossoff was elected in 2020, so it'd be 2026 then. Yeah, so it'd be a midterm election. Okay. I don't know. I felt the same way for this election. Like I felt like Kamala is going to win all of Biden's state. If there was one that she lost, it may be Georgia, because I feel like they are suppressing voters. I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some things going on in Georgia, but when I've thrown on it and asked the pendulum the last couple of weeks, I get that Kamala's going to win. So um, Georgia, and I think she's going to win North Carolina as well. Um, but I do see Georgia nuts, maybe staying purple or light red in the future. So that may be why. Oh, maybe Ossoff runs as governor. Could be. I see Ossoff still in politics for whatever reason. Maybe he's in the administration too. All right, right, you guys. Yeah, I don't. Brian Kemp may run for the White House. I don't see Brian Kemp as president. Oh, Stacey Abrams. I do feel at one point she will be governor of Georgia, but it may not be for a little while. I see her really active. I see her continuing to be very active in um, getting people registered out and to vote. She may even get something in like the DNC position. But I do feel eventually she will be governor. I'll tell you, I've always felt that Beto would be a senator of Texas at one point. It almost feels like his legacy. And I almost feel the same thing with Stacey Abrams. She will be governor at some point. But I kind of see her working behind the scenes, getting people activated and registered to vote. And it may very well be like a DNC position. Yeah, she is brilliant. She's got all the tools at her disposal. She's the magician, the star. She does have a new beginning. She's got the magician here. She's been going through a bit of a hard time, I think, since her loss. But she's got a bright future with the star, being an advocate for women, getting all the women support, and the fool, a new beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if she does something in the DNC for a little bit, and then in the future is a governor of Georgia. I don't know if she'll run the next time around, but it might be the following election for governor. All right. All right, you guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there for today. Been on for almost an hour. But again, for my members, next Monday, October 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have our Reiki and Prayer Circle live stream. Next Tuesday, we'll focus in on the election races. So we'll do pendulum or quick one card throws for the races. So you can send me house races. Even if you want to send me state races, that's fine too. Senate and presidential elections, and we'll do that again on November 5th, just to see where the energy sits. And next Wednesday night at 7 p.m., I should be on Susan Lynn's channel. If anybody's possibly interested in taking the Holy Fire Reiki level 1 and 2 class, trying to get feelers for interest, so I have more information on that on my website, kevinlovingvibrations.com. If you're interested, send me an email that you're interested, and if we get a lot of people interested, I'll send you all emails when I've decided on dates. And if anybody's interested in a Reiki session, or I have a reading Reiki combination session I'm offering, I do have some availability for this month. I think I have a couple openings next week and a couple openings the following week. And you can book that on my website, okay? All right, everyone, hang in there. We're getting close to the election, almost 2 weeks away. So, stay grounded, stay positive. Let's all envision this blue tsunami coming through and Democrats doing well in this election. Visualize Kamala Harris being sworn in as president in January of next year, and just continue to keep the faith. Hang in there, okay? I'll see you all next week, and I'm sending you all a lot of love and blessings. Take care, everyone.